amazing Salisbury steak. So I'm making the meat mixture for the Salisbury steak now. So all it is ground beef, seasoned breadcrumbs. I'm adding some dry mustard and a good old ingredient from the 70s, French onion soup mix. And I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of it to the meat mixture. And then a spoonful of ketchup, just to keep it down on the sphere of earth, salt and pepper, and Worcestershire sauce. Nothing kind of new or earth-shattering about this combination. It's just good old Salisbury steak, like the kind you had at your grandmother's house. They call it steak, but they're actually burgers, okay? And they're formed to look like little steaks, and then you make sort of a brown gravy to go over the top. Okay, so this is enough meat for 4 Salisbury steaks. So I'm just gonna kind of divide it in 4 pieces visually, so I don't get too big of a piece for each one. And this is the funny part. So to form Salisbury steak, you form a burger patty, but in kind of an oval shape, so it looks like a steak, okay? Then you take the side of your hand and make like little ridges down each one. And that way, when it cooks, it kind of cooks like a steak.
Like grill marks.
That's what Grandma used to do. Okay, so that's 1 Salisbury steak, and I'm gonna do the same thing with 3 more. Okay, so I got the 4 Salisbury steaks formed, and I've got a skillet with a little bit of olive oil and butter, and I'm just gonna set them in. I'm gonna put them with kind of the ridges down and cook that side first. 1, 2, 3, 4. My grandma would be so proud of me. Okay, so I'm gonna let them start cooking on the first side, and I'm gonna wash my hands, and then I'll finish cooking them and take them out of the pan. Oh, look at those juicy steaks. Okay, so now normally I would pour off excess grease, but the beef was pretty lean, so I'm not gonna worry too much about it. There's not too much in the pan, but there's just enough to start on the delicious gravy that goes with the Salisbury steak. So I'm sprinkling a little bit of flour into the skillet, and I'm just gonna let it cook for a little bit, just 30 seconds or so. Just turn it into a paste and whisk it into all of those drippings on the bottom of the pan, scraping up all that good stuff. All right, and now for the fun part. I'm gonna turn off the heat because I've learned my lesson. And I'm gonna add about 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of sherry, which is the update for this Salisbury steak. Now, when my grandma made Salisbury steak, she never used any sort of alcohol. It was definitely kind of a family-friendly, middle America dish. So now that the alcohol has evaporated, I turned the heat back on. And can you smell that, Alex?
Yeah, it smells so good.
It really smells amazing. And it's already starting to thicken, which is great. So I'm gonna pour in some beef broth. And I'm gonna keep whisking while I pour it in, just so it keeps getting hot and keeps mixing in. I wanna make sure I get all of that good stuff scraped off the bottom of the pan. All righty. And then the sauce needs a little ketchup too. I don't want the sauce to feel left out. Alex is not a ketchup fan, so this is a stretch for her right now.
Yeah.
All right. And then this good old French onion soup packet, I'm gonna add the rest of it. So I'm gonna let this heat up and bubble and thicken. So give me just a couple minutes for that. Okay, Alex, look at this brown gravy. It's not like thick gravy, but it'll thicken up more as it sits. So I'm gonna turn the heat way down and back to our Salisbury steaks. I'm gonna put it right back into the gravy. And then this is the key with Salisbury steak. You've got to spoon that brown gravy all over the steaks. And ideally, you add the steaks back into the gravy and let them kind of simmer for about 10 minutes and keep spooning the gravy over the steaks. Really amazing. So I'm gonna sprinkle on some parsley. I don't remember my grandma ever sprinkling fresh parsley over hers, but she probably wanted to. All right, retro Salisbury steaks, the way my grandma used to make them.